Soft sunlight pours through the wide windows of a small but beautiful home in Nairobi. The sound of distant traffic mixes with birds singing outside. Michael, a 35-year-old architect with calm eyes and a gentle smile, stands by the window, adjusting his tie. At the dining table, Amahle, his wife, hums a tune while pouring tea into 2 cups. She's radiant, not because of makeup or jewelry, but because of the warmth she carries. Her laughter fills the air like morning music. Narration: gentle, reflective. For Michael and Amahle, mornings were sacred, not because they were perfect, but because they were shared. Every laugh, every small argument, every sip of tea. It was love in its simplest form. Michael sits down, smiling at her. "Did you sleep at all?" she teases. He chuckles, rubbing his eyes. "Barely. That new office project won't design itself." Amahle leans closer, sliding a slice of toast onto his plate. "Then maybe the architect should learn to rest. You can't build a dream if you're half asleep." They laugh, a sound full of comfort and years of understanding. Cut 2. Later that morning. The couple walks down their street. Michael carries a small bag, while Amahle talks about her students, the ones who drive her crazy, and the ones who melt her heart. She tells him about a little boy who dreams of becoming a pilot. "You should have seen his face when I told him nothing is impossible," she says proudly. Michael smiles, watching her. In his eyes, she is his world. They stop near a small craft market. Amahle picks up a hand-carved wooden pendant, shaped like 2 intertwined rings. She studies it for a moment, then turns to Michael. "Here," she says, pressing it into his palm. "This will keep our spirits bound, no matter where life takes us." Michael laughs softly. "You and your superstitions!" Amahle grins. "Call it what you want. But love is stronger when it has a symbol." He hangs it around his neck, pretending to admire himself. "Now I'm protected by the spirit of my wise wife." They both laugh again, unaware that this tiny pendant will one day become the last thread connecting them. Transition. Evening. The same day, the sun sets over the Nairobi skyline. The house glows with warm, golden light. Amahle cooks dinner while Michael sketches in his notebook. Their life is simple, but full. They talk about the future, starting a family, maybe building a small house by the lake, a school Amahle dreams of opening someday. Michael looks up from his sketches. "You'd be an amazing mother," he says softly. Amahle smiles but doesn't answer. She just reaches for his hand and squeezes it. The moment lingers, fragile, full of life, yet unknowingly close to ending. Night scene, the dream, later that night. As rain begins to fall outside, Michael sleeps restlessly. His breathing grows uneven. In his dream, he's standing on a dark, endless shore. The wind howls, the waves crash violently, and from the distance, a voice calls his name. Amahle's voice. He sees her faintly, reaching out from the fog, her white dress fluttering like mist. "Michael!" she whispers. "You didn't come for me." He runs toward her, shouting her name. But the waves rise higher, swallowing everything. The pendant on his chest glows faintly before the sea consumes it. Michael wakes up, gasping, drenched in sweat. The sound of thunder rolls outside. He sits up, clutching the pendant around his neck. He shakes his head, forcing a tired laugh. "Just stress," he murmurs. "Too much work." Amahle stirs beside him, half asleep. "You okay?" He looks at her, the dream still vivid in his mind, her face fading into fog. But he smiles to calm her. "Yeah, I'm fine." She reaches out and touches his cheek. "Then go back to sleep, my love." He lies back, wrapping his arm around her. She rests her head on his chest. Outside, the storm passes, leaving only the soft sound of rain. Narration: somber tone. If Michael had known what that dream meant, maybe he would have held her tighter. But love makes us believe we have time. And time, as he would soon learn, has its own plans. The morning sun filters through the same wide windows. The house feels quieter, still peaceful but slightly empty. Michael is at the table, reading building plans, while Amahle packs a small travel bag. She hums softly, the same tune she sang that first morning, as she folds a bright yellow scarf. Michael, light teasing, "You're taking half the wardrobe for a 2-day trip?" Amahle, smiling, "Just in case. You never know with village weather." She walks over and adjusts his collar before kissing his cheek. "Amahle, Mama's been asking about you. I told her you're drowning in blueprints again." Michael, "She's right. These clients don't believe in rest." They both laugh softly. He helps her close the zipper on her bag. Amahle, "I'll be back before you miss me." Michael, grinning, "Impossible. I'll start missing you the moment that door closes." They share one last embrace. For a few seconds, neither speaks. The morning breeze drifts in, and somewhere outside a bird calls. It's a perfect, ordinary goodbye. The kind people think they'll get 1,000 more of. As Amahle leaves, Michael watches her from the porch, waving until the small bus disappears around the corner. He doesn't know it yet, but that wave is their last. Midday, Michael's office. Hours pass. Michael buries himself in work, rulers, sketches, and measurements filling his desk. The noise of the city hums faintly outside. But something feels off. He glances at the clock. She should have reached by now. He picks up his phone, types a message. "Reached safely?" No reply. He shrugs it off. Maybe there's no signal in the village. He continues drawing until his phone rings. The ringtone sounds distant, heavy. He answers, expecting Amahle's laugh. But it's not her. It's a stranger's voice. Voice, urgent. "Are you Mr. Michael Njoroge?" "Sir, your wife? There's been an accident." Time stops. His pencil drops. He can barely breathe. Michael, shaky. "Where? Where is she?" Voice, "Muthaiga General Hospital. Please come quickly." He doesn't even remember how he gets there. Only the sounds of screeching tires, his heart pounding, and his shaking hands gripping the steering wheel as rain begins to fall. Hospital scene, chaos, and desperation. The emergency ward is chaos. Bright white lights, the sharp smell of antiseptic, nurses rushing in and out. Michael pushes through the crowd, drenched and gasping for air. Michael, to nurse. "My wife, Amahle Njoroge. Where is she?" The nurse hesitates, glancing at the doctor. A silence that feels heavier than any sound. Doctor, softly. "Mr. Njoroge, I'm sorry. She didn't make it?" For a moment, Michael doesn't react. The words don't sink in. They bounce around his head like echoes. Then, silence. No sound, no light, just the beating of his own heart and the roaring of blood in his ears. He stumbles back, shaking his head. "No, you're wrong. She was fine this morning." The doctor's voice fades away. A white sheet covers her body in the corner of the room. Michael's knees give out. He reaches out, trembling, and touches her cold hand. Her fingers are still soft, still Amahle's, but her warmth is gone. He lets out a quiet, broken sound, something between a sob and a breath, and whispers, "You promised you'd come back." Transition. The funeral days pass in a blur. People come and go. Words of comfort mean nothing. The rain never seems to stop. Amahle's coffin rests under a white tent surrounded by flowers. Her photo, smiling, full of life, stands at the center. Michael sits at the front, staring blankly ahead. Every sound feels distant. The pastor's words, the murmuring guests, even the crying. In his hand, He holds the wooden pendant she gave him. It's cracked from his constant gripping. As they lower the coffin into the earth, thunder rumbles. The wind picks up, scattering petals. Michael's fingers tighten around the pendant until it snaps. The sound echoes like a final goodbye. Half of it falls into the wet mud beside her grave. He kneels, mud soaking his clothes, and whispers through his tears, "Michael, you said we'd be bound forever. So why do I feel so alone?" The camera lingers on him. One man, one grave, and endless rain. Closing scene, the graveyard at dusk. The crowd has gone. Only Michael remains, staring at the freshly covered grave. The rain has softened into a drizzle, the world gray and heavy. He stands there for hours, unmoving, soaked through but unaware. Finally, he places the broken half of the pendant on the wet soil. Narration, somber, reflective. Sometimes life takes everything in a single breath, a single moment of rain, a single turn of fate. And when it does, all that's left is silence. As the camera pulls back, Michael turns his face upward to the dark clouds, eyes glistening with tears and rain. Narration continues. But even in silence, love leaves echoes, echoes that never truly fade. A faint breeze moves through the trees. The pendant's string sways gently in the mud, as if something unseen still lingers nearby. It has been 4 days since Amahle's funeral. The house, once full of her laughter and warmth, now feels hollow. The ticking of the clock is louder. Every corner, every photo, every scent reminds Michael of her. He sits on the couch, staring at the pendant fragments on the table. One broken piece from the grave, one still around his neck. The cup of tea in front of him grows cold. Outside, the rain taps softly against the window. Narration, somber. Grief is strange. It doesn't shout. It whispers. Through empty chairs, through cold sheets, through the quiet that replaces a heartbeat you loved. Michael barely sleeps, but when he finally does, the first dream comes. Dream sequence, the field of tall grass. He finds himself standing in a wide open field, the sky painted gold and blue. The grass sways gently in the wind. Everything feels peaceful, but unreal. Too calm, too still. Then he sees her. Amahle. She stands a few meters away, wearing a flowing white dress. Her smile is soft, the same one she used to give him when she caught him overworking. Michael's breath catches. He whispers, "Amahle?" She tilts her head, her eyes filled with sadness. "You didn't come for me," she says quietly. Before he can speak, the sky darkens. The wind picks up. Her hair whips across her face as mist rolls in from the distance. "Amahle!" "Wait!" he shouts, running toward her. But no matter how fast he runs, she keeps moving backward, fading, step by step, into the fog. She raises her hand one last time. "Find me." Her voice echoes, soft but haunting. Then, silence. Michael wakes up, gasping, his body drenched in sweat. He looks around. His heart pounds so loud it feels like thunder inside his chest. The air smells faintly of Amahle's favorite perfume, jasmine and honey. For a moment, he thinks he sees her shadow near the door, but when he blinks, it's gone. The next morning, confusion and denial. Michael sits on the edge of his bed, holding his head. He tries to make sense of it. "Just a dream," he mutters. "It's just grief playing tricks." He remembers what the therapist had once said at a community grief session. The mind sometimes creates what the heart refuses to accept. So he convinces himself that's all it was. His mind. Desperate to see her again, he showers, goes to work, forces a smile when his co-workers offer condolences. But the world feels like a blur. Every voice is muffled, every color faded. At lunch, he takes out his phone, still scrolling through old photos. There she is, laughing, holding a puppy, fixing his tie. Each picture feels like a cut that won't stop bleeding. He almost deletes them, but he can't. Night. The second dream. That night, the dream returns. This time, the field is clearer. The air smells of rain. He hears her laugh. That same light, musical laugh he fell in love with. She's closer now, her eyes glimmering. "You didn't come for me," she repeats softly. Michael steps forward. "Come where? Amahle? What are you saying?" She only smiles. "You'll see." Then the wind blows. The scene dissolves again into mist. He wakes suddenly, again covered in sweat, and the faint sound of a song fills the room. A familiar tune, Amahle's favorite gospel hymn, Thula Sizwe. It seems to be coming from nowhere, just echoing faintly in the dark. Michael stands, trembling. He checks the radio. It's off. His phone, silent. But the song keeps playing, slowly fading as if carried by the wind. He sits on the bed, clutching the broken pendant. His hands tremble. "Amahle?" he whispers. "Are you here?" The room is silent again. But for the first time since she died, Michael doesn't feel completely alone. Closing narration. Sometimes love doesn't end when the heart stops beating. Sometimes it lingers, between dreams and daylight, between what we see and what we feel. And when the living refuse to let go, the dead find a way to speak. Days pass, but the dreams don't stop. Each night, Amahle appears, sometimes standing in the mist, sometimes walking away, always whispering the same words. "Find me." Michael stops sleeping properly. Every morning, he wakes with her voice echoing in his head. He starts to believe the dreams mean something, a message, a sign. The pendant pieces on his bedside table glint faintly under the light. One broken, one whole. He begins to see patterns in everything. The way the candle flickers, the sudden chill in the air, the smell of jasmine that lingers at odd hours. He starts keeping a dream journal, scribbling every detail, times, words, weather, her expression. The pages fill up quickly, each line more desperate than the last. Scene. Work neglect. At the office, Michael's once sharp focus is gone. He misses meetings, forgets tasks. His co-workers exchange worried looks. One afternoon, his friend and colleague Samuel pulls him aside. "Brother, you need rest," Samuel says gently. "You're not okay." Michael forces a smile. "I'm fine. I just need to figure something out." Samuel hesitates. "You're seeing her, aren't you?" Michael freezes. "What do you mean?" Samuel lowers his voice. "You've been talking to yourself, saying her name. Grief is cruel, Michael. Don't let it trick you." Michael snaps. "It's not grief. She's talking to me." Samuel steps back, pity flashing across his face. "She's gone, my friend. Let her rest." Michael walks away without another word. But inside, something burns. The need to prove he's right, that he's not crazy. Scene, the clues. Begin. That night, he dreams again. Amahle stands by a river, her white dress flowing, her eyes full of sorrow. "Find me," she whispers again. Where it all began. When he wakes, he writes those words down. Then he stares at them for a long time. Where it all began. He remembers the first place they met. The small church near his mother's village. That's where he first saw Amahle singing in the choir, her voice filling the room like sunlight. He decides he must go there. The next morning, he drives for hours, the pendant pieces in his pocket. The roads twist through golden fields and quiet villages. When he reaches the church, it's half abandoned. Windows cracked, ivy crawling up the walls. Inside, dust dances in the shafts of light. The old piano sits in the corner, covered in cobwebs. He kneels, whispering, "Amahle, are you here?" The air grows colder. A faint melody begins. The same hymn from his dreams. Thula Sizwe. The piano keys move, gently. On their own, Michael steps back, his breath trembling. Amahle. Then the sound stops. Silence again. He drops to his knees, tears streaming down. "Tell me what you want." But no answer comes, only the faint scent of jasmine, vanishing like smoke. Scene. The spiral deepens. From that night on, Michael's obsession grows uncontrollable. He stops answering calls, stops eating properly. His walls fill with photos of Amahle, notes about dreams, maps of the places they went together. He believes she's trying to lead him somewhere, to something hidden. Friends visit and leave in silence, whispering to each other that grief has consumed him. He starts seeing her reflection in mirrors, her shadow moving behind him. Sometimes, when he closes his eyes, he feels her touch. Warm, real, familiar. One evening, Samuel visits again. The house is dimly lit, the air heavy with candle smoke. "Michael, this isn't healthy," Samuel says. "You need help." Michael turns slowly, eyes hollow. "Help? She's here, Samuel. I can feel her." Samuel shakes his head. "You're chasing ghosts," Michael whispers. "Maybe ghosts are all I have left." Samuel leaves quietly, too afraid to argue. Scene, the warning dream. That night, Amahle appears again. But this time, she's not calm, she's frightened. The sky in the dream is red and stormy. The field is gone. Now she stands near a cliff, wind whipping her dress. "Michael," she cries, "you have to stop." He reaches for her. "Stop what?" "You're opening the wrong door." Lightning flashes. Her face twists in fear. "Don't follow the voices. They're not all mine." Before he can ask what she means, the ground shakes, and she's pulled backward into darkness. Michael wakes up, screaming, gasping for air. The room feels freezing. The pendant on his chest burns hot, as if alive. He looks around, and for a split second, he sees her face in the mirror, staring back, eyes full of sorrow. Michael doesn't sleep again after that warning dream. The echo of Amahle's terrified voice, "You're opening the wrong door," won't leave his mind. He sits in the living room, lights dim, clutching his pendant. The wind outside rattles the windows like whispered voices. His journal lies open beside him, pages full of frantic handwriting, arrows, and sketches of symbols he barely remembers drawing. For the first time, he wonders if what he's been seeing isn't Amahle at all. He whispers into the darkness, "If it's you, Amahle, please show me the truth." Scene, the whisper in the walls. Around midnight, the power flickers. The air grows thick. Then, faintly, comes the sound of footsteps. Slow, deliberate. From the hallway, Michael stands, heart pounding. "Amahle?" No answer. But the scent of jasmine returns, stronger than ever. He follows it to their bedroom. The mirror on the wall fogs up, though the air is cold. Then, slowly, words begin to appear across the glass, written by an unseen hand. "Not alone." Michael stumbles back, terrified. "Who are you?" The mirror cracks. A shrill, distorted whisper fills the room. Fragments of Amahle's voice mixed with something else, something darker, deeper. "Find me, before it finds you." Then silence. Michael stares at his reflection, trembling, pale, and sees a shadow behind him that vanishes when he turns. Scene, the old village woman. The next morning, shaken and desperate, Michael drives back to the village where Amahle grew up. He visits her aunt, Mama Nandi, a weathered old woman known for her wisdom and deep connection to spiritual traditions. When she opens the door and sees Michael's face, she sighs. "You've seen her, haven't you?" Michael's voice breaks. "She keeps saying, 'Find me.' I don't know what it means anymore." Mama Nandi nods slowly, her eyes grave. Amahle's spirit is restless. She cannot move on because her death was not clean. Michael's blood runs cold. "What do you mean?" The woman sits him down, lighting a candle. When the dead are betrayed, their souls linger. They reach out through dreams, searching for truth. Michael shakes his head. "Betrayed? By who?" Mama Nandi's gaze sharpens. "By someone close. The spirit world whispers that she was not taken by illness, but by deceit." Michael feels his stomach twist. No, that's not possible. But deep inside, a memory stirs. The argument they had 2 nights before she died. Amahle had seemed scared, anxious, like she wanted to tell him something but couldn't. Mama Nandi hands him a small pouch of herbs. "Burn this where she rests. If her spirit is trapped, it will speak the truth." Scene: the graveyard revelation. That night, under a full moon, Michael drives to the cemetery. The air is heavy and silent. He kneels beside Amahle's grave, lighting a candle and burning the herbs. The smoke curls upward, twisting into strange shapes. Then the wind changes. The flame flickers violently. A whisper drifts through the darkness. "He lied to you." Michael's heart stops. "Who?" he whispers. The soil trembles slightly, and he hears Amahle's voice, clear now, filled with pain. "I tried to tell you. The medicine wasn't mine. I was poisoned." Michael's breath catches. "Poisoned? By who?" A faint image appears in the mist. Amahle's face, pale and sorrowful. "Someone close to you, the one who envied what we had." Then her image twists, turning fearful again. "But it's not just me here. It followed me. It wants you too." The candle explodes in a burst of sparks, and Michael falls backward, choking on smoke. When he looks up, her apparition is gone. Only the scent of jasmine lingers, now mixed with something acrid, like burning metal. Scene: the connection unveiled. Back home, Michael stares at his wedding photo. Amahle's smile, Samuel's hand on his shoulder. Samuel, the man who had warned him to let her rest. The man who had been in their home often, even when Michael wasn't there. Pieces begin to fall into place. The strange visits. The half-finished tea Amahle left untouched the night she died. The mysterious headache she complained of hours before. Michael whispers, trembling, "Samuel." The pendant around his neck pulses with faint warmth. He realizes the "find me" wasn't just about her spirit. It was about finding the truth. Scene: the return of the shadow. Before dawn, Michael hears footsteps again. The same slow rhythm as before. He turns toward the hallway. And there, at the end, stands a shadow. For a moment, he sees Amahle's face. Sorrowful, pleading. Then her image distorts, replaced by something darker. A shape that looks human, but isn't. The entity hisses in a voice half hers, half unknown. "You opened the door." The lights flicker violently. The air crackles. Michael falls to his knees, clutching the pendant, the only thing glowing softly in the darkness. Then everything goes black. Michael hasn't slept. The sun creeps through the curtains, but the house feels cold, empty in a way that light can't fix. He sits at his desk, the pendant in his hand glowing faintly. The words from the night before echo in his mind. "He lied to you. I was poisoned." His heart pounds as his eyes drift toward a photo frame. Him, Amahle and Samuel, smiling, laughing, the picture of friendship. But now, Those smiles feel wrong. Michael whispers to himself, Samuel, what did you do? Scene, confronting the past. He drives across Nairobi in silence, every honk, every voice around him distant and unreal. When he arrives at Samuel's apartment, he doesn't knock gently. He pounds. Samuel opens the door, surprised, wearing the same calm smile that used to comfort Michael. Brother, it's early. What's... Michael cuts him off. Don't brother me. Tell me what you did to Amahle. Samuel's expression falters for a second, then steadies. Michael, you're grieving. You need rest. You're seeing ghosts that aren't there. Michael steps closer, voice trembling with rage. She came to me. In my dreams. She said you lied. She said she was poisoned. For a brief moment, Samuel's eyes flicker with something. Fear, guilt, maybe both. Then he laughs softly. Dreams don't tell the truth. You're losing your mind, man, Michael's voice cracks. Then why did she have your tea that night? Why did she tell Mama Nandi someone was following her? Samuel doesn't answer. Silence stretches between them, thick, suffocating. Finally, Michael whispers, You killed her, didn't you? Samuel exhales shakily. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. Michael's face freezes. What? Samuel's words spill out, trembling. She was going to expose me. I borrowed from the school fund, just for a while, to pay some debts. She found out, said she'd tell the board. I tried to talk to her, calm her down, but she drank the tea before I could stop her. I swear, I didn't mean to. Michael lunges forward, grabbing his collar. You poisoned her! Samuel shoves him back, panicking. It was an accident! Michael's voice shakes with fury. You let me bury her thinking it was a car accident. While you stood beside me crying fake tears, Samuel backs away, breathing hard. If I go to prison, everything's ruined. Michael steps closer, whispering coldly, It already is. Scene. The spirit's intervention. Just then, a gust of cold wind sweeps through the room. The lights flicker violently. Samuel looks around, terrified. What's happening? Michael freezes. The pendant around his neck starts to glow, bright, almost blinding. The air thickens, heavy with jasmine and smoke. Then, from behind them, a soft voice whispers, I trusted you both. Samuel spins around. And there she is, Amahle. Her form glows faintly, her white dress flowing like mist, her eyes full of sorrow. Samuel stumbles backward, gasping. No, you're dead. Amahle's spirit speaks calmly, her voice echoing. Yes, and so is the truth you buried. Michael's eyes fill with tears. Amahle, I found you. She looks at him, smiling gently. You were always meant to. Samuel screams, Stay away. As objects begin to shake. Picture frames, lamps, everything rattling as if the house itself is alive. Amahle turns her gaze toward Samuel, her tone neither cruel nor angry, only sad. You could have asked for help, but greed made you blind. The room erupts in a sudden gust. Samuel collapses to his knees, clutching his chest. I didn't mean to kill you. Amahle's figure begins to fade. Now you must face what you did. Michael steps forward as the pendant in his hand shatters into glowing dust, scattering around them. When the light dims, Samuel is left sobbing, broken, as sirens begin to echo faintly in the distance. Scene, the aftermath. Hours later, police cars line the street. Samuel is handcuffed, his face pale and hollow. A detective turns to Michael. You did the right thing, sir. We found evidence of the poison at his apartment. This will bring justice to your wife. Michael nods numbly, watching Samuel being taken away. But instead of triumph, he feels only emptiness. He whispers to himself, Justice doesn't bring her back. As the police cars disappear, he looks up. And for a moment, he sees Amahle's reflection in the window of his car. She's smiling, peaceful. Then, as the wind brushes his face, her voice echoes softly, "Now you can let me go." Scene: the farewell dream. That night, Michael dreams one last time. He stands in a wide open field, the same field from before, but now filled with golden sunlight. Amahle stands a few feet away, radiant, calm. She walks toward him, eyes shining. "You kept your promise." Michael's voice trembles. "I didn't want to lose you." Amahle smiles. "You never did. I was only waiting for the truth to set me free." She reaches out her hand. Between them, the pendant reappears, whole again, glowing softly. As she takes his hand, the pendant bursts into light. Surrounding them both, Amahle leans close, whispering, "Live for both of us now." Then she turns, walking slowly into the sunrise, her laughter, soft, familiar, beautiful, echoes as she disappears into the light. Michael stands alone, but his heart feels lighter than it has in months. 6 months have passed. The Nairobi skyline glows under a soft golden morning, and for the first time in what feels like forever, Michael breathes without pain. He walks through Uhuru Park, sketchbook in hand, tracing the outlines of a small school building, the kind Amahle once dreamed of opening for children who had nothing but hope. The world feels gentler now. The nightmares are gone. All that remains are distant dreams of sunlight, laughter, and the faint sound of Amahle's voice carried by the wind. He glances at the pendant hanging around his neck. Once broken, now carefully repaired. The carvings are cracked, but beautiful, imperfect, just like life. Michael whispers to it, smiling faintly, "You were right, Amahle. It really did keep our spirits bound." Scene: the Amahle Foundation. Later that morning, Michael stands before a modest new building with freshly painted walls. A sign above the entrance reads, "The Amahle Foundation, a place for hope." Children run across the courtyard, their laughter echoing. Volunteers unload books and supplies. One of the teachers, a young woman named Zuri, walks up, holding a clipboard. "Mr. Michael, the new library is ready for the kids. You should come see." Michael smiles warmly. "You've done an amazing job, Zuri. She'd be proud of you." Zuri tilts her head curiously. "You still talk about her like she's here." Michael looks out toward the sky. "In some ways, she always will be." He steps inside the classroom, sunlight pouring through the windows, and gazes at a mural painted by the children. It shows a woman in a flowing white dress standing in a field of light, surrounded by smiling faces. Underneath, in bright colors, the children have written, "Love never dies." Michael's throat tightens. He places a hand on his heart and whispers, "Thank you, Amahle." Scene: a quiet evening at home. That night, Michael returns home. The house feels different, not haunted, not lonely, just calm. He walks to the living room, where a photo of him and Amahle still sits on the shelf, the one from their honeymoon. For a long moment, he just looks at it. Then he smiles softly and lights a candle beside it. The flame flickers, and for a brief second, he swears he sees her reflection in the glass, smiling, radiant. Not a ghost this time, just love. He whispers, "I finally learned to live again." The wind drifts gently through the window, carrying the scent of jasmine, her scent. Michael laughs quietly. "Still watching over me, huh?" He closes his eyes and lets the peaceful silence fill the room. Final montage: a life rebuilt. Days turn into weeks. Michael spends his mornings teaching architecture classes and his afternoons at the foundation, helping children build dreams of their own. Every weekend, he visits Amahle's grave, not with flowers of mourning, but with books and drawings from the children she inspired. Sometimes he reads to her. Sometimes he just sits in silence. Each visit feels less like goodbye and more like homecoming. Closing narration, voiceover. Soft, reflective tone. Michael's inner monologue. Grief doesn't end. It changes shape. Like the tide, like the wind. Love doesn't die when a heartbeat stops. It lingers, it teaches, it forgives. Amahle taught me that death isn't the end. It's just another doorway. And through that doorway, her light still finds me. Final image, the symbol of peace. Michael stands at the hilltop overlooking Nairobi as the sun sets. He wears the pendant around his neck, now glowing faintly in the golden light. As he turns to leave, a soft breeze passes by, carrying the faintest echo of Amahle's laughter. He smiles, eyes glistening but calm. The city lights begin to sparkle below him. Michael walks toward them, steady, hopeful, free.